So good has finally did what most persons didn't anticipate, right? So let me patiently take you through it, right? Let me just take you through it and how we got to where we are today. Do all this move, I'm not even on it, safe. I'm not even on it. The highest points, I think, the one I posted, the one you replied on. My STP was 4135. Yeah, it was my highest point. And all this, I missed out on this move, right? Because this, I was actually done. I'm done for the week anyway. Yeah. So my trading activity will resume next week, right? So this was like everything I needed for this week. So what's funny enough, right? If you look at this. you know, I don't know, I had to, there are um, there's some things you see, you be so damn confused, right? But I was onto something, right? So this was my analysis, basically. See, these white lines, that's why on my phone, this very chart, you should remember now, is where I track progress of gold and their moves, right? So you can see major highs and lows, whatever pullbacks, whatever, everything has been happening, right? So fast forward to this period. So you can see the last high and low. This is the last low. This is the last high. That gave rise to this low and this high. So let me zoom into this, right? So for the longest time, yeah, you can see within this range. Let me see if I can mark it out. For the longest time, it was only yesterday that the market broke this range. So to tell you that from this was 30th, 29 June, and this was 5th July, right? So for roughly 1 month, yeah, price has been within a particular range. Yeah, price has been ranging here. So most sellers, yeah, most sellers were around here selling, waiting to sell, waiting to sell, right? And buyers were waiting around this zone. The market comes down, they keep buying. Or if you break this low, sellers will take in. Or if you, so sellers were around below this zone, buyers were waiting above, right? But what's happened actually tricked everybody, right? So look at this. Within this very range, yeah, I think what started happening was that we started seeing lower highs here. You can see this high, you can see this low, right? We can see this high as well. You can see a lower low. But something interesting happened there. This was the lowest point, 3960. Now, at this very point, we were expecting, like I was expecting the market to keep selling basically. But what happened here? It broke this high. We were like, oh, finally, the bullish momentum has kicked in, right? Remember, within this range, right? But what happened? Of course, it gave us a higher low, lower than this, sorry, higher than this one. Then the crazy thing, the crazy thing was that instead of giving us a higher high, it gave us a lower low, lower high rather. So this was so confusing, right? So many people started plotting, oh, this is a an inclined triangle, blah blah blah. And for real, it really is. Yeah. So after seeing a lower high, imagine when you are now like, okay, the market is finally starting to push up, right? It gave you a lower high from there, give you a lower high from there. Another lower low, dumped in. That's the 399 since dump, right? I was able to catch this trade, but right here, I was so confused. Is this guy continuing to sell? Is he going to buy? What's happening? Like, this was, in fact, last week, last 2 weeks, and like the most confusing part of gold, right? What I was focusing on was what this market can give me short term, like because most of the long term moves I anticipated didn't always go as planned, right? Okay, what can I say short term? I was trading with what my eyes is seeing, right? Until we had this double top. This was a double top, right? I can still remember selling to this high, right? This was a double top, right? Then it reacted. Now this reaction came back to 40.29. Yeah. This move, I took advantage of it as well. So at this point now, I was like, okay, if that's the case, this market um is buying to like the highs basically. And of course, it reacted the way it should react after giving a lower low. Though this trade didn't give me, I didn't fully maximize this trade anyway. I didn't fully maximize it. It was whole, just I think I took a few trades, whatever. But you can see here, it gave now this is where these markets are getting confusing. It gave a new high, but if you look at this point here, let me use it gave a new high, but if you look at this point, this was like a mitigation, right? It just took out this point. Now, giving a new high, right? We're expected to get at least another higher low to start riding up. But he came back. This is where I started getting confusing. He came back and dropped to 14.19. This was happening last week, Friday. In fact, this very move, in fact, I personally took a buy, right? I set a buy limit at 40.50. Right? My SL was below this point. The market took me out, right? The market took me out. But the market took me out. But I was low key lucky, yeah, to be able to cover up this move. That Friday took a buy. I later took a buy at 37, closed somewhere around 40 something. Then by Monday, the market finally gave us the move we wanted, right? The move was like after this, whatever this move gave, we're supposed to buy, right? In fact, I was waiting for a buy at 40.18, but it didn't get there and pushed up from there. So our target was to buy from here at around this area, 40.75. So by Sunday market open, it got to that 40.75, right? I caught a sell here to tell you how confusing this market can be. I got a sell here, but at a while, if you look at this here, I'm just sharing my experience with you, right? Um, this zone, this is a low-key support zone on the 4 hours, right? I was confused. I was like, you know what? This market can decide to start buying. I closed my sell position, started looking for buyers. The buyers ended in stop loss. I decided to enter for under sell, just like as you can see here. I entered for under sell. Even this sell here was so tricky that if you're not careful, in fact, it took me out. I was taken out like 4 times before I got the final sell move. I was taken out like 4 good times, right? Then the final sell move happened, right? The same thing that happened to me here, buying because I was waiting to buy a lower, just like what happened here, waiting to buy a higher low. I set my entry at 30, that was at 36, right? Of course, well, it took me out. But I already saw, okay, since this happened before, it might still happen again. And of course, based on my trading model, it's expected that Friday's low will be taken out before the main buy happens. So I waited for a buy down here, right? So that's why I was able to jump on this very buy. Now, here's one tricky thing, right? Here's one thing that tricked every damn trader, yeah, on Tuesday. The market bought aggressively, but what was the funny thing? It came to 4102. Yeah, this zone. It came to 4102 because our TP2 was 4102. Yeah, it came to 4102 and rejected aggressively. So just imagine you're a trader, yeah, and this very move has not happened, and you saw this. Like this is me. My buy position was still, I took a buy on Monday. My buy position was still active, and this move is happening, right? And on X, everyone like, oh man, gold is gonna crash. Oh, I had to tell myself, sometimes it's very difficult to see another view when you're on something, right? Let's say you're selling and the market is giving you buy opportunities. It will be so hard to accept that, yes, this market is about to reverse. Yeah. I have to tell myself, what if I'm wrong? Yeah. I That was when I did this whole analysis. Yeah. You can see these red lines and everything. I had to break down everything. Yeah. I was like, inside the main range that has not been broken out, this mini range here, this low and this high, still has not been broken out. So for now, I can't even tell if this guy is going to sell. So what I'm hoping, I had to switch to hope here. What I'm hoping is for this 4164 high to be broken. That's a confirmation that this market is buying. But at this very point, what am I going to do? I had to draw this. I saw a clear converging, what's it called, inclined triangle happening. You, my chief, yeah. If you at this point, this was Tuesday. Tuesday closed, yeah. Tuesday closed around 76. You saw the day you're looking at, see this strong rejection candle happen and the market closes this way. Would you have um would you have just looking at this here without all this happening, are you gonna have a stronger inclination to selling or buying?
I want to buy.
Is it?
Come again, come again. Say with all this that happens, will I have the inclination to buy, right?
Just with all of this here, without this move that is happening here. Let's say this candle stops. But I don't know how to block off. Let me see if I can do something now. Okay, let me see if I can do something. I'm coming. Mm, yes. Ah, still visible low. Okay, but anyways, now let's say this was where this market is. Let me delete this. This was where this market is, yeah. And you're seeing an inclined triangle pushing downwards, and the market just rejected this high. So, and this was how the day closed with this closing candle. Would you be looking for buys? Would you have more inclination to buying or selling with this thing like this now?
I would want to sell.
You're going to sell, yeah? Exactly. Exactly. So that was what I was seeing. That was what every other trader, most traders were seeing. Like I was so confused. But I told myself one thing, yeah, that um when I see myself seeking validation on X, I should just know that I'm
Everybody,
now confused, right? Anytime I see myself seeking validation, because whenever I'm confused, I hop on X to see what other traders are seeing, to know to know their view, because sometimes I'll be so confused. So Friday, Tuesday night, I was so confused. But I had seen before the market closed here, I had seen something, right? I did my whatever, and was like, good is going to buy from 40.70. At least I don't know whatever it will do, but it's going to buy from 40.70 and hopefully gets to 4135. Now, what made me make that decision? That was what I saw on the 30 minutes time frame, right? I was like, this is my 30 minutes time frame. In fact, if you look safe, I plotted possible. It was a funny day, yeah. I plotted, wait, let me turn off this thing. I plotted, look, this is me on Friday. This is me on Tuesday night. This is what I did.
Mm.
I was like, if this market is going to sell, you should get to this point first. If it's going to buy, you should get to my low first. So I use what's it called? I use this rule, the power of three, yeah, manipulation, um, manipulation, accumulation, and distribution, right? So if it's going to sell first, I would want it to buy into this area first, then sell. And if it's going to buy, I want it to sell into this area first, then buy. Right? So this was my verdict. Yeah. It was a 30 minutes time frame. I told myself, yeah, what are you seeing on the 30 minutes time frame? I'm just showing you sometimes when you're confused, yeah, how you have to resort to brute strategy. Like you have to resort to what you know, number one, then what you are seeing, not what you are thinking. Right. So this is what I exactly do. This is what if I had like more whatever to make for the week, this would have been a great run for me, right? So on the 30 minutes time frame, I was like, what am I saying here? I said, I'm seeing a clear buy, right? So simply I plotted my Fibonacci, right? Or what was it called? My Fibonacci from this low to this high, right? That brought my entry to around this area. Okay, oh, is it from, yeah, I think it's from here exactly. I plotted it from this low, but was like the major low, right? To this last high. It gave me this 4068. I was like, you know what? But I had to close, at the point, I had to close my buy. The day opened, I closed my buy. I just set by, what's it called? Sell limit and buy limit. I started selling. If this market is going to sell, this area is a valid point for it to sell from. Because it's clear now. This is a strong rejection candle, a Fibonacci waiting here. So if it's going to sell, right, I wouldn't want it to break this low first. Because I know this low is a liquidity zone. I would want it to push into this area first, then sell. But the funny thing was that immediately market opened. This was 11 a.m., 11 p.m. and the market has opened. It pushed to 86. I was tempted to start selling. I said, no, wait for your strategy. It came again pushed. I was like, no, whatever it is, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere, right? And finally, it came and tapped into this area. That's when I knew that forget about it. Is done, right? I set everything. Was like, you know what? I just need to go to bed. The good thing was that I had a very good SL, right? In fact, I had like mad room for my SL. But funny enough, can you imagine? It even tried to play around within my SL zone, just disappeared from there. I woke up by 3. It has hit my first target of yesterday's high. Took out Tuesday's high. Then by before 6, it has hit my main um it has hit what's it called? My main 4135 target, and the rest was history. As you can see, the rest was history, right? So this is exactly how, you know, sometimes when you get so confused, yeah, you have to resort to that thing. And looking at this, yeah, this is today. This is today, and this is an amazing move, basically, right? This is today, and as you can see, I've already plotted my buy zone. So for now, yeah, I'm looking out for sales. In fact, I would even anticipate if this market doesn't get here by Friday, right? You know that if today it just plays around this area, right? You know that by Friday, NFP would push it down. As like a correction needs to happen. This is like I would say that this is like one of the strongest rally that's happened in the markets without any news event, right? This is like one of the markets moved markets moved from Monday, right? Market moved like more than more than but from 40 to 84. that low. This is like 2,800 pips. This is whooping money. With 0.01 lot size, this is $282, right? With zero point 0.1, this is 2,000. With 10 lot size, this is 28K. So any person that caught this move actually made a good amount of money, right? So simply, what I'm waiting for here is a sell. Now, let's now break down. If you are taking a sell now, what are we gonna do? Let's go back to a fresh. I, let's go back to a fresh chart. All right, so here we are. If I'm looking for a sell now, what am I gonna do? The market has given me everything I need. So um, it's clearly bullish still. This is 1 hour time frame, and this is 1 hour time frame, and this is 6 o'clock. 6:30. 6:30 is pushing up, right? So I expect a sell. Okay, if I'm looking for a sell, yeah, this would be a good. I think let me shift this into white background to make sense more. To make sense more. Mm, okay. All right. So it makes sense more. All right. So I'll be expecting low key. I'll be expecting a uh, I'll be expecting a reverse from this zone, right? So till 4-1, you know, till 4-1, this area will be valid. 4-1-2 something. Is that zone I marked here against 4-1-3-2. So we're selling to 4-1. 4132, 4132, 4132. That should be around here. Right. So for now I'm looking at cells here. So this area will be a good point for a cell. I hope he holds. If he holds, then we're gonna see that's 2068 basically. Then of course I said no need to be large. So let's say 24. Even 24 pips is too damn much. Then I'm also looking at you might still get into this area. This is this is the other block, right? This is the other block. You might still tap into this area above. That's the thing. You might still tap into this area above. If I decide to use Fibonacci, let's use Fibonacci. Oh, Fibonacci is even above. You can see now, Fibonacci is above. So this will be our deal point. I think I might decide to extend it. Mhm. These are much more perfect area. And see why analysis is
So
good.
what
Yeah.
5 retrace 0.6. I thought
It-
golden retracement is 0.6.
yeah, 0.6. 0.6, between 0.5. I mean, I always use 0.5 and 0.6. That's the two zones. Ouch. The two zones basically. Right? So, but most times it still breaks the 0.6 anyway. But however it is, I'll be right here waiting. So this will be my key entry point. And if I'm to bring it down or to minimize it to a much more, funny enough, right here, there's no FVG. Okay, the only FVG right here on this 15 minutes time frame, on the 30 minutes time frame, right? We have an FVG just at 24281 and 4283. On the 15 minutes, we are having there's no FVG here. There's no valid FVG here, but there is something above here. There's an inverse FVG here, which you might want to tap into, right? So trades like this, I can simply set a, it's just that it's 280. So I can simply set sell limit just right here, just to be on the second side. And risk 17 points. Aim for 1 is to 2. That's all I need. Aim for 1 is to 2. That's all I need. Exactly. So I can simply wait for this to play out. Then my 1 is to 10 moves don't always come in. They come in once in a while, like not always. Not always. Most times I just go for 1 is to 2, 1 is to 2. Some days 1 is to 3. Then those 1 is to 7, 1 is to 10. And like this last move we took like 100, 1,000 pips, yeah, 100 points with SL of 19. Imagine 19 points SL for 10. That's roughly 1 is to 5 actually. 1 is to 5. You're risking almost 200 pips for 1,000 pips, right? So that's like 1 is to 5, right? So that just it. So right here, you're looking at 1 is to 2. So this is what we're waiting for. So first off, if I'm trading what's it called? If I'm trading 630, that's London Q zone. I'll be a buyer right now. By 630, of course, 630 swept this low. So I would have been buying right here to this value zone. But I expect 7 o'clock to push it into this area. Then London opens. Then I'll wait for whatever London has, right? I think on a later day, I'll show you how some of these Q zones happen. You can see this indicator I have here, Q zones. It shows you like this thing here is Asian session, right? And sometimes based on what I've studied about it here, I see I see these sessions as one full candle. And as a full candle, now what happened here is that 630, this is London Q zone swept the low of Asia, right? And this low is expected to do a pullback. So personally, what I expect today is something like this. Push into this area, midpoint, then come back, break, do a retest, then continue selling. Gosh, God is cold. So that's what I expect, right? That's what I'm expecting, basically. So it might not go this way. I mean, it might not go this way, but that's what I'm expecting based on the past, right? So let's go over something that happened in the past. So you see that, oh, yesterday was different. Yesterday was totally different, right? It didn't even retest. It just kept on buying. Then other days, just like this very day. Some days, yeah. Other days, this is something similar that might happen today. You can see this was the high. The high was what? It was mitigated. Then a pullback happened. It didn't actually break the low, but it just came in and keep pushing. So that's something I'm anticipating here, right? This low, the low was mitigated, right? The low was mitigated, so I expect it to push into this area a little bit, then keep selling. So, but there are other things that do happen. So you just to catch those ones once in a while, once in a while. Um, uh, uh, if this is the Asian zone, um, you would expect price to break. If price breaks above, right? Wait for a sell confirmation, then sell to the low. Some days, this is a strategy I use as well. Some days I use this. So but it doesn't always happen. But anytime it does happen, it plays out very well. And that was a day I took advantage of it. Let me see. I think it was reading last week. Let's see if I can see it. Um, let me see. That was a very day last week that's when the job done. It's like, yeah, it's last week. Aha, yeah, this is it. Right, yeah. This was on Wednesday, yeah, exactly. Wednesday, Wednesday. You can see how he broke above, yeah, gave us that good sell confirmation, then boom, sell to the low. So it happens, not always, but sometimes it happens. Most times, all you always see is mitigation, right? Go into the zone, then sell. If you to break above, this one, like this one broke, came to retest. So you can see the zone, there's something as a zone, or so that just sharing some of the things I'm learning. I just so many approach with this market to tell you so many things approach. Main thing is just like you have one way of trading, but there's different branches. Yeah, if let's say strategy is like a route going to let's say going to a particular place, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's say your strategy is like getting to a particular destination, but how you get there, there are so many variables here. A particular approach you use might not give you what you want. Sometimes they all converge and give you a confirmation. Like on Friday, I had a on Friday. Let me see if I can see that. On Friday, after that low happened, I think that was exactly this is it. On Friday, I had yeah, I trade what's it called? I trade CRT too. They are all part of the strategies basically. So this is a CRT entry. So this is like a very good buy entry. Yeah. So after this candle closes, you wait for a little pullback. You buy to the high of this other candle here. So this is also a good strategy. But then me as well, I trade this candle here is a what's it called? New York Open. So you can see this is a two-thirds. Yeah, so I have opening range theory that I use, or opening range breakouts rather, OLB, that I use that that is simply once the high of the opening range is broken, I wait for a retest. This was my retest, yeah. I actually saw this. It was my retest. And also you just see how so many things are aligning here. Um you just see how so many things are aligning here. Aha, I'm getting it right. Yes. So I think I used a Fibonacci to get this entry point. Yeah, so instead of waiting for it to tap into 36, I have to set it at 37. Right. And funny enough, if you look, the market never came down to it bought really well before coming down again. Right. So I had an entry at 37. My guy that trades this had an entry around 40, and all our buys were valid. I closed at this high, he closed at this high as well. One other person held his buy anyway and closed at our main target, which is 75. So I'd have actually held my buy over the weekend. But I was scared that the weekend might do a gap low and take me out. So I don't want to risk that. So that was it. Same idea, different confirmations, different approach, but they're all the same thing, right? They're all the same thing. So that's that about that. That's that about that. I don't know. I hope you got something. So I don't know if I really thought anything. It was just me sharing. I don't know. I don't know. I
I
don't
do.
know. You got something, right?
I got the way you were trying to approach the market, how we can actually get confused in some days, irrespective of no matter what it is.
Exactly. Exactly. Honestly. But we can only keep doing our best regardless. But this month soon will go well. So as the market has given us a direction now, so we have to start working with what it has given us and just stay
Going
clear.
to
Stay, yeah, man. Well, anyways, so that's it for this morning. That's it for this morning. So
Thank you very much.
yeah, you're welcome, great man. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So, cheers and have an amazing day. All right.
More.
Yeah. Oh.